but I'll let you talk. I'm going to mute. So, and I'm not going to. I'm going to be reading the chat. So I'll acknowledge that you're there, and I'll continue to do stuff like this. So I will be reading, but I'm going to be muted. All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
Alrighty. So, okay, I am one of four children. My parents were married young. They were both like hippies, kind of. They both got saved really young, and were a part of a church, a big, huge church down in Southern California. And so they had us. They had my brother, my sister, and my other brother, and then my dad happened to get employed by the church that we were going to, or that they were going to. And so what they did with my dad is they sent him to Hawaii to start a church under the Praise Chapel umbrella church. So basically what it is like one mother church, and then they send out a whole bunch of pastors to all different countries, all different states, and they start baby churches there. So it's kind of like a pyramid, like there's a big church that helps, and then there's all these little baby churches underneath it. So my dad was one of the pastors that got sent out to start building churches. So when they moved to Hawaii, they started a church there, and I happened to be conceived and delivered in Hawaii. So out of all of my brothers and sisters, I was the only one that was born in Hawaii, and I like to joke that I was born in paradise and they were born in Southeast LA. So that's kind of funny. I always make fun of them. Anyway, they had me in Hawaii. My middle name is Kahealani. It is a Hawaiian word that means heavenly call. So from very young, from a baby, our family was super religious, and my dad was a pastor. So from the beginning, I don't know if you noticed, but they usually have baby dedicating services, and they bring all the babies up to the front of the church, and they pray over them, and they dedicate them to God. And that's what all of my brothers and sisters have been dedicated to God. And I was dedicated in Hawaii. They gave me that name, Heavenly Call, and they prophesied over me. That's common in this kind of a church. It's a Christian, either like non-denominational or Pentecostal church. They believe in prophecies and speaking in tongues and the gifts of the Spirit and all of that crazy stuff that y'all probably think is crazy. Very, very religious. So church was everything to us. That was our whole life. My dad was a full-time pastor. He did not have any other job my whole life. That's all he ever did was preach. So that's all we knew was church, and that's it. So fast forward, while we're in Hawaii, while I was a baby, my dad had a lot of depression problems and health problems, and my mom had a lot of depression problems, postpartum depression. Actually, after she had me, she had it really bad. And in Hawaii, none of her family was there, and she kind of went crazy a little bit and like did not want to be there anymore. So she made my dad tell his boss basically that we couldn't be there anymore. We had to leave the church to somebody else. So we moved back to Southern California, and my dad started a church in San Fernando Valley. And I was about probably like 3 or 4 when he started this church. And it was a huge church. It did really well. We actually rented out a huge theater, which was just a one screen theater, like an old school theater where people used to go and watch movies. But like back in the day before there was movie theaters with multiple rooms, it was just one big theater room and a whole other little offices and stuff in the building. It was a big church. We had lots of people. I mean, on a Sunday or a revival service or a conference or something, the place was packed, and it was like every seat was filled, and we did really well there. My dad was getting more and more popular, more famous in the Christian world. He went to a lot of different countries. people paid him a lot of money to come to their church because at that time it was a different world than it is now. So at that time it was very popular to go to different churches and have revivals and have these big, huge Holy Ghost services where my dad would pray for people and cast demons out. He would pray for people and they would be healed of cancer. He would pray for people and they would be able to walk again after not being able to walk. I mean, I seen all of these things as a young girl. I watched it happen with my eyes. So, growing up and having like a weirdness about church, I always knew that God was real. And I always knew that the miracles were real because I saw them when I was little, and nobody had to sell anything to me. I just knew that God was real, and I watched my dad perform miracles, and I watched him have this crazy effect on people. They acted so like he was Elvis. It was crazy. Like people would really, um, they would come to our church to bring gifts to my dad, and he was like famous for people bringing him burritos while he was up there on the pulpit preaching. I mean, they would bring him a sandwich because he was known for starting a sermon and starting with his notes, but then letting God take over and the Holy Spirit take over. And then we would have like hours and hours of services where he would be praying for people. People would be speaking in tongues. There would be people running all over the service. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but the other day, Navy vet had said, "Oh, I went to that church when Molly had played a TikTok, and it was similar to what I watched growing up. Was that kind of a service where people were dancing and screaming and crying and running all around the building and praising God, and miracles were happening everywhere. That's just kind of a regular thing for us growing up. It was we were literally at church every single day of the week. If we weren't at church, we were at school. If we weren't at school, then we were at home. And those are the only three places that we went, really. It was completely centered around God and our ministry and the church. That's what our lives were about. So, so keep in mind my dad's popularity. He was very famous. We had a few different situations where he had stalkers, and these women would stalk our house and send really disgusting letters to my dad. And so a few times we found out who they were, but a lot of times we didn't find out who these people were. They would just stalk him. They would take pictures of our house. They would take pictures of him and my mom on the patio, and send just disgusting stuff to our house. And they were stalking my dad. That's what came with his fame, and I guess that's what you'd call it. I mean, he wasn't on a big screen. He wasn't a celebrity by that sense, but he was in our world. So it was really awesome because we had a big house and we went on nice vacations, and my mom was gone a lot because she would go on trips with her friends and she would go shopping, and she always had the newest latest fashions, and we had the nice car, and it was really like a childhood that anybody could dream of. But it also came with a lot of ugliness, because like I said, there was stalkers, and then also the ministry came first all the time. So that meant if my dad got a phone call in the middle of the night that a husband was beating on his wife, or a husband came home drunk, or a wife was found cheating on her husband and they need counseling in the middle of the night, or one of their children died and they needed counseling in the middle of the night, that was always our normal life. Like my dad would take me out of bed in the middle of the night because I was the youngest and they couldn't leave me there, but my brothers and sisters would stay home asleep, and they would take me out of the bed and take me to these different houses, whatever time it was that people needed him from his church, he would go. That was just part of the deal. That was part of the job. And so it came with a lot of, downsides too. It was awesome that we had all this money and we were doing well financially, but behind the scenes, my family was falling apart, and I didn't really know any of this because I was so little, and they didn't really let me see any of the fights, or any of the stuff that was happening behind closed doors. I didn't know any of it. So fast forward a couple of years. I mean, we had this church for like 5-6 years, and it was doing really well. It was really packed, and my dad was going all these places to preach, and my dad was at the height of his career. Basically, he was at the top. Like, there was not much more that he could do to be more famous or get more money in his position. We were pretty much set. And so one day, my dad picked me up from school, and my brother, and we walked into the house, and I noticed that nobody was there, and it was just me and my brother at the time. And by the way, I have my older sister, my oldest sister. She's about 10 years older than me, 9, 10 years older than me, maybe 12. And then my brother Chad is second, and then I have a handicapped brother. Or I had a handicapped brother that was completely handicapped and nonverbal.
Oh, I never knew that. Wow.
Oh, yeah, he's completely nonverbal. So he had to be fed. He had his diaper had to be changed. Like, it was like taking care of a toddler, but in a in a big boy's body. Like, he would be, um, 11, 12, and having his diaper changed and stuff. So that was hard on our family as well. So this day that I came home with my older brother, we noticed nobody else was there. So my dad sits us down at the dining room table and basically explained to us that my mom was gone. She wasn't coming back, and my older sister was gone as well. And my dad told us the story of how he had an affair with a lady in the church, and that she was going to have a baby, and that they were going to get married, and they were going to be together, and him and my mom were no more. So um, that day, I had no idea that my parents were even having problems. So coming home, and my mom was gone, and she wasn't going to come back. She didn't leave me a note. She didn't tell me anything. She took my older sister and left and did not come back. So in my mind, I think I was 7. In my mind, my dad telling me this, obviously I couldn't process or understand. I had no idea what he was talking about. But my young mind, he said we were having a baby sister, a new baby sister, and that the lady that he was having an affair with, which was in our church for a long time, um, we were like best friends with her kids. She was like best friends with my mom. Our families always did stuff together. Like, it was very close. Like, we knew them. So in my young mind, I got excited about having a baby sister and having new siblings, because these were my best friends, and now they were going to be my brothers and sisters. And so I ran upstairs and called my friend, which is my stepmom's daughter. She's my stepmom now. They've gotten married. But I called her and said, oh my God, we're going to be sisters. We're going to have a baby sister. And like, I was super excited about it. And she had no idea what I was talking about. She didn't even know that her parents were getting divorced, or that she had no idea. I completely crushed her and broke her heart. She had no idea that this was happening. And she was a little bit older than me. And she didn't take the news the same way that I did. At all. She did not. She was upset. And I realized after she reacted the way that she did that, whoa, wait a minute, maybe this isn't a good thing. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. But like I said, that time I was 7. So I just got excited about, I got excited about the change. I liked that I was going to have a baby sister. I liked that my friend was going to now be my stepsister. I loved Norma, which is um, my stepmom's name. I loved her, and I spent a lot of time with her. So I wasn't upset with her, and I wasn't mad that she was going to be my stepmom. I wasn't mad about any of that. It didn't really kick in or hit or settle until weeks and months went by and I didn't see my mother. Like, she would call and say, I'll be there to pick you up on Friday. And I would get home from school on Friday with my bag, and I would sit on the stoop and wait for hours and hours and hours until it was like 9:30 at night, and my dad said, "Baby, come in. She's not coming." And so that happened a million times. I mean, it got to the point where I stopped going out there on the stoop and waiting for her because I knew she wasn't coming. She would just lie and say that she was going to come, and she never did. So that was probably a year, 2 years of her promising me that she was going to come, and she never did. And so when all of this happened, when my dad finally told us about the affair and everything was happening, and my mom left our beautiful house that we were so proud of, that was in a really nice neighborhood in Canyon Country, California, kind of by Magic Mountain, in a beautiful neighborhood. It seemed as if, like, as soon as he exposed himself to us and to everybody, that everything around us started falling apart. So what he had to do was get on stage at our church, that we helped, grow, that he grew from the ground up, and he had to step on the stage and on the pulpit and let his church know that he had messed up and he made a mistake and that he wouldn't be their pastor anymore. And that was really sad and really hard because that was our family. And I didn't understand that I was never probably going to see those people again, or that I wasn't going to be around those people anymore. It was really a confusing time for me. For everybody else, they seemed to be very sad and, heartbroken, but I was confused. So our house started flooding. My dad lost all of his cars. Everything just started to fall to shit, like complete shit. Like the house, we couldn't even, I remember at Christmas that year, we couldn't even have a Christmas tree in the downstairs living room because it was completely soaked and flooded. Like, you could not walk downstairs without shoes on because you would be walking. It was like up to our ankles in water. So he had to put all of our Christmas presents on the dining room table, and he didn't even wrap them or anything. It was so weird because we went from, having this family that did everything together, and to me, it looked like the Brady Bunch, and like, some shit that you see on TV that like is unrealistically fucking perfect. That's how it was to me. I thought that my family and my parents were perfect, and I did not know that it was not. And it completely turned my world upside down in a matter of days, honestly. But over the course of a year, it had completely turned our lives upside down completely. We went from living in this big, beautiful house to living in a trailer park, eating noodles every day for food. I mean, there was nothing else. My dad could either buy Spam or noodles, or maybe sometimes both, and then we would have it together. It was a very rough time. We were super broke. And not only were we broke, but all of our friends, all of our family, everybody had turned their backs on us completely turned their backs. They would not talk to my dad. All these people that, would have my dad over to preach and were best friends of his over like 20 years, would not speak to him. And so we lost all of those people too. They completely turned their backs on us. There was maybe a few that didn't on my dad, but the majority of all these people that we had known our whole lives, that had been our family and our friends, they completely turned their backs on us. So that was probably, that time is probably the most, looking back now, the most traumatic childhood stuff that I could think of. But, moving on, I finally did move with my mom for a while. But moving with my mom was probably the worst thing that could happen to me, because she didn't watch me. Like, it was just me and my mom, and she literally would work, go to karaoke bars or bars, and have a new boyfriend every week. And she would leave me at home for days at a time. And this is like when I'm 11, 12 years old. She would just leave me at home with nothing to eat half the time and just party all weekend and then come back and be at home in time for work Monday, and then it would start all over again. So either during the week she would go to work, either come home, or she would go to her boyfriend's house after work and then stay until the next day. It was just different. Every week was different. I didn't know if I was going to see my mom or not. I started getting in trouble in school. I started ditching school a lot because it was so easy. She would leave for work before I would have to go to school, and she would just basically leave everything up to me. So she would trust that I was going to go to school. She really didn't give a shit either way. So after she would leave, I would pretend like I'm going to the bus stop, and I would just fucking stay. And that's when I started, smoking weed, hanging out with all the bad people, hanging out with all the bad kids. We lived in the hood, like seriously in the ghetto. And I started making all of my bad decisions then. And I think it was because I just wanted to be around people, because I felt like I had been alone for my whole life. I'm the youngest out of everybody, except for like when my dad got with his wife and they had their baby. She's the youngest out of all of us, but with my parents' kids, I'm the youngest, and it was always like me by myself. And my older brother and sister, they didn't want nothing to do with me, but I was always me by myself. So I would walk around the neighborhood and imagine things and play, like with my imaginary friend, or just pretend things. That was my whole life, was like just imagining and pretending things. So when I moved with my mom and I was 11, 12 years old, she would leave me at home alone, and I wasn't playing with dolls or imagining things anymore. I was wanting to get into shit, and I was wanting to fucking get into mischief, because I saw that there were kids in my neighborhood that were into mischief and they were always having fun. And I just thought, okay, I want to be their friend. Like, I wanted to be around people because my mom left me alone so much that I was like, damn, I want to be around people. I want to be around, I don't want to be in my house by myself. I'm fucking 12 years old and there's nobody here to talk to. So I started hanging out with all the bad kids in the neighborhood. One memory I have is I was riding my scooter around the neighborhood, and it was late at night and my mom was at home. I don't know what she was doing, but like I said, she really didn't care much. She let me do pretty much whatever I wanted. So I was riding my little scooter around the neighborhood, and growing up, I had mostly older friends. I don't know why. I just didn't vibe with people my age. Um, but I did with older people. So I had these friends that were white girls, um, that lived in my apartment complex, and they, I guess, started hanging out with like these white pride guys, and hanging out with like, racist people. In the area that I lived, there was a lot of gangs and a lot of gang activity. And it wasn't just minority groups that had gangs. We also had a lot of white power and KKK and racist people. And I didn't realize that that's what she was until after all of this. But she was my friend. She was very nice to me. I had no idea that she was racist. But I'm riding around in my skateboard or my scooter, and around the apartment complex, I see my two white friends, and they were getting like completely stomped out by these two African American girls, and they were completely beating the shit out of them. It was probably the first time I ever saw anything that was that graphic and that violence and that like scary. It was terrible. I thought that they were going to die because they were beating them up so bad. In fact, one of the girls almost did die. So I had to, I ran back to my house and to the girls' house and told them to call the police. They were getting beat up and all that. But I remember after that, something inside of me, like, something switched, and I did not want to be friends with those girls anymore. I wanted to be friends with the other girls, the ones that beat up the white girls. I don't know why, but it just switched. So I went from hanging out with the white girls that were racist, apparently, to hanging out with the black girls that beat them up. And they loved me. And looking back, they had me do a lot of, what is that sound?
Yeah, I hear it too. You're sounding like a robot a little bit to me anyway, but you're good now.
Oh, okay.
I just
Yeah,
made
that's good.
sure like everything is exit out. Can you guys see that? I mean, hear that, or is it
It's
just
gone
me?
now. It's gone now. It was
No,
like,
I can hear you. You sound like a robot.
oh dang.
Let's see.
Okay. Should I get out and then come back in?
Yeah, yeah. You hold on. There's all. What am I doing? There you go. All right.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Hi, Waffle Fries. Yeah, I'm gonna kick myself out real quick to see if the sound's better.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, so I started hanging out with the black girls instead, and I guess my husband just said you probably started hanging out with those girls because you're not racist, and I was not raised that way at all. I love everybody, and um, so I think that for some reason, I don't know,
Why is it
something,
doing this?
I don't know. Is it robotic when I do it? Because I can hear it when you are, but
I can. You're fine now,
okay.
but everyone else can hear good, right?
Yeah, sounds good on my husband's phone.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay. So so I started hanging out with those girls, and from then on, I that's when I got really bad. Like I just started sneaking out in the middle of the night. I would go hang out with those girls. I would meet up with older guys, um, smoke weed, drink a little bit, just whatever bad girl activities that I could participate in. I was fucking there. I was there. I did it. Um, and I had a lot of like pent up rambunctiousness, if you want to call it that, because our family we were essentially like the first family of the church, and we had to be a certain way, had to dress a certain way, had to talk a certain way, could not do any of those things or talk like that around the church people because they would judge us and judge my dad. And so we always had to be perfect. Like on the outside, everything had to be perfect. So I, for so long, had to pretend that I was something that I wasn't. And so when I finally got the freedom and the balls, honestly, brave, brave, bravery to start doing bad shit, I fucking went ham. I went crazy. And like I said, my mom didn't give a shit. She didn't care. So it was kind of like a free for all. So in sixth grade, uh, Valentine's Day, 2000 or 2001, I was in sixth grade. My best friend was spending the night, and we went to the school. We had to wear uniforms, but like on Valentine's Day and different holidays and shit, like we would do our makeup pink and wear like little stickers on our face, and we had all of our Valentine's things, and we had to bring like our parents, or we had to bring like a baked goods, like we were gonna have a party. We were super excited about this Valentine's Day thing. um, so we get up in the morning, and my mom comes to my room, and she's like, um, we need to call Stevie's mom. She needs to pick her up. We have to go to Santa Clarita. Your brother choked, and he's on his way to the hospital. And so my brother, Jeremy, he was 17, and he was handicapped. Like I said earlier, he was mentally retarded, and he did not speak. He was nonverbal, and he could not feed himself. So my dad always was feeding him, or one of us was feeding him, and he choked a lot because he didn't know how to chew and process his food properly. So he would choke a lot, where there were so many instances where we would be at a restaurant and he would choke, and it would be the scariest thing ever. So this morning, my brother choked on a sandwich in the morning. I don't know. I think it was like a peanut butter sandwich or something. My dad was trying to rush and hurry and get him on the bus to school, and he choked. and so they had to call the ambulance. And so my mom, came in and got me, and she said, we have to go see, I don't know what's happening. Your brother went in an ambulance to the hospital. We have to go. So we end up driving over there to Santa Clarita to Henry Mayo Hospital. And when we pulled up to the hospital, my dad met us in the parking lot, and he just kind of fell to his knees and cried, and my brother died. So what ended up happening was his heart stopped in the ambulance.
I'm sorry, Adizzle. I didn't know that. I'm very sorry to hear that. I really am.
Excuse me, just one second.
If you
So
don't want to, you don't have to
no,
keep
it's
going if you
okay.
don't want.
It's okay. It's just, anytime I talk about anybody dying, it's sad. So
Yeah,
my
I get
brother
it.
died. He was amazing, and he was very sweet, and he was my best friend.
I'm sorry.
And I feel like he was so different than everybody, and nobody really gave him the time of day or paid attention to him, but me and him were like besties. Like, I would sit in the back seat with him and hold his hand and rub his face and sing songs to him.
Yeah.
So when he
Whew.
died, it really, really hit me hard, because I felt like my older brother and sister, they were super close, and even though he couldn't speak to me or understand what I was saying, I felt like we were super close. So it was really sad. It was really
Yeah.
sad for my brother to die, and it really hit my dad really hard. He took it really hard. He felt like it was his fault. Um, so he was very depressed for a long time. My mom was very depressed for a long time. And then
Hmm.
that day when we got home from the hospital, or when my dad and my stepmom got home from the hospital, uh, they got home to a voicemail from my stepmom. She has 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. Her oldest son was in jail at the time, like in youth authority, because he had robbed somebody or something when he was younger, and they called and left a voicemail on our machine saying that he had leukemia, and they didn't know how long he had before he was going to pass. So that happened the exact same day that my other brother died, and he ended up passing away 2 years
Wow.
later on my little sister Sarah's birthday on January 19th. So
Wow.
yeah, 2
Sorry.
back-to-back losses. After Jeremy died, my dad, he he suffered so bad, and he had this his best friend. It was like an uncle to me that had a church in Arizona. He offered for my dad to come and be on his staff, because my dad hadn't had a job since, years before, because of what he did with, he cheated on my mom, and they kind of kicked him out of the ministry and everything. So this guy was kind of giving my dad a second chance and saying, why don't you come over here? You can be in charge of, this, and this. We'll put you in a house, give you a car. You'll be, one of our assistant pastors. And him and my stepmom were not married at this time, so that was like the catch. He said, you can come, you can bring your kids, but if you're not married to this woman, then you can't be here and live in the same house if you guys are unmarried. So we went to Arizona for a year. My older brother Chad, and me and my dad, we all 3 of us went to Arizona for 1 year. I was in 7th grade, and the youth pastors lived across from us, and so I got really, really into the youth group and church and all of that stuff. I feel like I had my first um, encounter with Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and I gave my heart to Jesus then. And when I finally understood what it meant, I was really, really, really God Squad, super, super God Squad that summer. And we ended up coming back. He got married. My dad got married to my stepmom. Um, my that my stepbrother died, so we had a funeral for him. Um, so I think about Okay, so a few years go by, and I'm still being a bad girl, but I go back and forth between my mom and my dad's house. My older sister, she had her first child when I was really little. She was 16 when she had her, and then she had another child, and then she had another child. So she had 3 kids, and she was living at this house that was maybe 45 minutes away from our house. She invited me over for spring break for the week, and I was really excited because I love my sister. You know, I loved her kids, and so I went over there, and I think it was 2 days. I had been there for 2 days, and then one night, right before I'm going to bed, my sister tells me to come in the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom with her, and she has this thing in her hand. I had no idea what it was. It was a meth bong, and she handed it to me, and she said, "Hit this." And I had no idea what the fuck that was. I never even heard of it, never seen it before. I had no idea she was doing other drugs. I didn't know. I was very ignorant to a lot of things because I didn't even know that that shit existed. I, had smoked weed before. I had drank before. I've heard of acid. I've heard of mushrooms. I've heard of those things, but I never heard of meth, and I did not know what the fuck it did or any of that stuff. So keep in mind, I'm 15 years old at this time. My sister is about, I think, 11 years older than me. So I'm 15. She hands me this meth bong, and I ask her, "What is that?" Like, she goes, "Just hit it. It'll be fun." Okay. So I fucking hit it. And that was like the worst decision I could ever make in my life, honestly. She, um, she ruined me by doing that because I was completely hooked. I don't know if anybody knows anything about meth, but as soon as it hits your bloodstream, the first 15 seconds, you're addicted. There's no way around it. You're addicted, period. So I was 15 and addicted to meth completely. Um, she, Now I realize that she was giving me drugs because she wanted me to watch her kids while she was partying. And
Look in the
so,
back chat. Look in the back.
so,
I'm sorry. I just had to say that to you.
okay, hold on 1 second. Um, so I realize now that she was doing that because she wanted me to but essentially she locked me in her room, and she just had a baby, so she had a newborn and 2 toddlers, and she had me watch her kids, so 24/7. So she would get me real high and put me in the room and with her kids and lock the door, and basically I couldn't really come out unless I had to go to the bathroom, unless I had to eat, or unless I had to make the baby a bottle. She just basically had me in that room, but I did it because I was so hooked on that shit that I was like, okay, if I do this for her, then she's going to give me some more. So all of spring break, I'm over there twacked out completely on drugs. I was like, I think it was maybe 13, 14 days. I did not eat. I did not sleep. There was only, what? Yeah. There was only I nibbled on stuff because I had to, and my sister would force me to, but it was so hard for me to eat or even drink anything. It was terrible. Like, I couldn't. By the 13th, 14th day, 2 weeks, I was like losing my shit, like seeing things. I was completely gone. And it was spring break, which I only had 7 days, but we just kept making excuses to my dad, and my dad was in the middle of moving from one town to another town, so he really just let me stay there. I don't even know why. I don't know how this happened, but he was so preoccupied with his life that he just left me over there for a month, damn near. And he was just like, I don't know. I missed all of that school and everything. And he didn't really care. He was just like, all right, well, we'll come get you when when we finish this, or, we'll come get you this day. And then Leslie, my sister, would always make an excuse like, oh no, can you just keep her here for another few days? because I was so gone that there's no way that my dad could pick me up and not notice that I was on drugs. So we had to try to get me to sleep and eat so I could go home and not look like a crazy person. So I finally ended up going to sleep. I think I slept for a few hours or a night or something. And my dad insisted on picking me up. This was like a month later. And during that time, like during that whole time that I was at my sister's house, keep in mind that this is like a drug house. And there was like Armenian mafia guys there. And my sister was like, you know, dating one of them or whatever. There was weird shit happening this entire time. I'm talking about they came in the middle of the night with a body in their trunk, like some real fucking crazy shit. And I'm a 15-year-old girl on drugs watching all this shit happen and fucking really essentially being a mother to 3 small children at the same time while I was on drugs. So and uh while I was there, my sister introduced me to this man that said he was 20 years old. And he was very flirty with me, and we ended up sparking a relationship. And I still was a virgin. I did not have sex with anybody, but we were in a relationship, and he was on drugs also. And so when my dad finally picked me up, I had to go back to my house, and I thought I was super in love with this guy, so I was super lovesick. And I didn't have any drugs. So imagine going from doing meth every fucking day for a month to going home and not having access to any of that shit. It was like literally locking me in a padded room. I was going nuts. I was going crazy. I was asking the neighbors if they had fucking meth because I was so addicted and so hooked to this shit. And I could not imagine my life without it. I thought I was going to lose my fucking mind because I'm like, oh my God, I need that shit and I can't have it. I can't even pretend that I'm not fucking freaking out because I was freaking out so bad. I was climbing the fucking walls.
Wow.
And I was heartbroken because I was obsessed with this guy. I thought I was in love with him. So I did everything I could, made every excuse in the book to go back to my sister's house and continue, you know, what we were doing there, which was basically she would get me high and me and this guy would go in the room and watch her kids. Yeah, pretty much that's what happened. So, and I didn't tell this beforehand, but my sister and I have a very weird relationship. And when I was, 11? 9 or 11. I was 11. We went on a road trip to Missouri, and my dad had one of those big vans that had like a TV in it. It was like an old school van from the 90s, but it was like one of the first vans that had a TV in it, a VCR, and it was like a 6-seater. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-seater. And all of us went on a road trip to visit his family in Missouri, my dad's family. On this road trip, it was my dad, my brother, my sister's baby daddy, her son's dad, and my handicapped brother was still alive. So it was all of us, and then my sister's oldest daughter. So all of us. It was all seats were taken except for one. And so on this road trip, I'm 11 years old. At night. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. My sister's boyfriends have always flirted with me. Even though I'm fucking hella younger than her, my sister's boyfriends have always been weirdos towards me. Like they always have. Like she's had boyfriends that have always like looked at me weird or flirted with me, and I didn't really think anything of it or notice it until way later on. But her baby daddy, in this van in the middle of the night. My dad would drive all day and all night some days because we were trying to get there. So it took us about 5 days to get there with all of us. But he started touching me. Trigger warning. Trigger. So this guy, which he was 19 at the time, my sister's baby dad, he started molesting me on this road trip. What he would do is he would reach his arm back, and I would be sitting right behind him, and he would touch me.
Oh.
So when we got back from this road trip, I told my sister's best friend, which had happened to be our neighbor, that actually introduced my sister to this man. They had known each other their whole lives. This girl that I told her what happened, and I told her what he did, and I told her don't tell anybody because I didn't know what to do. I had no idea what to think of it. Part of me was like, oh my God, he likes me, because he kind of he groomed me and manipulated me into thinking like this is what is supposed to happen when you like somebody. You know what I mean? So I figured half of me was like, okay, he likes me and that's why he's doing this. And then the other half was like, wait a minute, this is kind of weird because I'm a little girl, you know? And you're my sister's baby daddy and her boyfriend. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was very confused and it was weird. So we were going to sleep one night and I told her, and I woke up the next morning to my sister standing over me and cussing me out and yelling at me and belittling me and shaming me and telling me that I was a whore and telling me that I was a slut and that nobody would ever want me because I'm such a slut, and how could I let her boyfriend do that to me, and why would I want him like that, and what a whore I was, just all of the shit. She basically blamed me for this happening, and I was 11. And this guy was 19 years old, and she blamed me completely and stayed with him. So me and my sister have had this weirdness in our relationship ever since that day, ever since that's happened. I mean, even before that happened, she had a little bit of jealousy towards me. It was weird. I don't know why. Um, but she already treated me kind of weird. But after that, she's always treated me like super bad since then. She's very abusive and very mean. And I think it's because she holds me responsible for being molested at 11 years old by the man of her dreams. She loved him so much. Out of everybody that she's ever been with, that was like her favorite guy. She loved him, and she could not believe that I would try to take him from her, and that was not my intention. That's not what I wanted to do. I did not wake up, one day and say, I'm gonna take my sister's man. That was not even that wasn't even in my brain. I'm an 11-year-old kid that was playing with Barbies and shit still. Like, it was not, I had no idea. And I didn't know anything about sex or anything like that. I really didn't. All I knew was movie shit, and like, I loved Boys to Men, I'll make love to you. But even that, I didn't even know what the fuck that meant. So I was so confused, and she completely just held me responsible for it and treated me so bad afterwards. And then he kind of just discarded me, and just like, he did that, made me believe that he like was in love with me and he liked me so much, and then he acted like I was nothing and didn't exist. So, and I don't know if he did that because my sister kind of threatened him or what, I don't know. But that whole situation was so fucking traumatic because it changed the way that I looked at men. It changed the way that I looked at my sister. It changed the way that I looked at sex. It changed the way that I looked at all of that stuff because that was my first experience sexually, and it was completely fucked off. Completely fucked off. So, moving forward, I always thought that, the only way that a guy will like you is if you allow him to touch you, you know? The only way that you're going to get a man is if you're sexually active with him. That's kind of what it taught me. And so I fucking moved accordingly after that. Like, I didn't have sex immediately, but I was highly sexualized. I did that to myself, I wore short skirts. I flirted a lot. I joked the other day, I told you guys um, the only time I've ever been suspended from school was deep throat kissing, right? What the fuck is even that, right? Who even knows what the fuck that is? I was making out with this boy in 6th grade behind a wall, and the principal walked up on us, and we both had to go to the office. We got suspended, and on the paperwork it said deep throat kissing, and I was like, "What the fuck is even that?" But I guess our tongues were down each other's throat, and that's what she meant by it. But I was behaving that way and wanting to make out with all these boys and shit. When I was in 6th grade, I probably made out with like 10 boys. I'm not even lying. I was just very sexual in nature. I thought that, that's how I was supposed to be for boys to like me. And keep in mind that during my 6th grade year and 7th grade, my sister's baby daddy, they were still together, but they were like on and off all the time. He was an asshole and jerk, but he would call me in the middle of the night and talk very nasty to me. And that went on for a few years. And I thought, I really thought that man loved me. And I thought that the only reason why we weren't together was because of my sister, and he didn't want to hurt her. So for years, I was groomed and manipulated, and I was under this spell of this guy thinking that he loved me, and I was determined to lose my virginity to him. When I turned 15, after my sister gave me the meth and all of that, one night I was at my mom's house, and I called him in the middle of the night, and he picked me up, and I was planning on running away. I didn't want to go back home. He picked me up. We did a lot of drugs, or we did a lot of meth. I lost my virginity to him. And then in the morning, he said, which it was disgusting. It was terrible. It was like the worst thing imaginable. Like it was just him trying to get off. It was not about me at all. It literally was like pump, 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 done. Like that was, he would just use me like a fucking, I don't know what those things are called, those dolls that you use he used me like a rag doll, really. So I felt ugly and dirty afterwards. And I thought, and I was super high, like super, super, super twacked out because we smoked a lot. So I thought in the morning that, I'm like, okay, can you, I thought he was going to take me with him wherever he was going, but he was like, nope, I'm going to take you home. I'm like, well, you can't take me home because I left from my mom's house in the middle of the night, not my dad's house. So I can't go back to my dad's house. I have to go back to my mom's house. And he was like, nope. House. That's where my sister was living too at the time. It was a Sunday morning. My dad was getting ready to go to church. We had a church now in the park. And he was, I kept begging him, please don't take me there. Please don't take me there. You can't take me home because my dad's going to know that I'm high. And where am I going to say that I came from? Like I can't do that. This motherfucker literally was like, I don't give a shit, and dropped me off right in front of my house. Super, super twacked and super, super fucking disgusting and used. And I felt so gross and ugly. And the good thing about it is that as soon as that happened, as soon as I lost my virginity to him, I lost all attraction. All of that shit was gone because he just treated me like a rag doll, and then basically dumped me in front of my dad's house, and that was it. Like, it was so terrible. He's so disgusting. I can't believe him. So yeah, I ended up losing my virginity to this guy that molested me when I was 11. That was when I was 15. I forgot where I was going though. I was going somewhere.
Take your time.
Oh yeah. So mine and my sister's relationship is fucked off because of him, basically. What? Hold on. 1 second. Okay. So yeah. So she gives me the meth. I'm on meth. I ended up having a relationship with that guy that my sister introduced to me at that house where she first introduced me to meth and all that stuff. And what ended up happening was my sister left that house and she moved in with us on the other side of town. And she lived with us for a while, and my dad and my stepmom just kind of had enough of her because she was not getting a job. She had 3 kids by 3 different daddies and was not really taking care of her kids. She was just letting them fucking do whatever they want. She wasn't paying any rent. She was just kind of a bum and was living off of my parents, and my dad had enough of it. And his wife had enough of it. So they were like, okay, we need to do something. She needs to get help. She needs to get off drugs. She needs to go somewhere. So she moved out here to Madera, and we have a family here that we know that we've known our whole life. They have a church out here. So what was going to happen was they were going to take my sister in and get her on her feet, get her off drugs, get her involved in the church, and get her a house, get her a car, all that shit, right? So she can straighten up her life. So when she left, I had no way of getting out and going to do drugs anymore because she was my sister. She was my reason to, like, I would go with her places and then we would get high. Like, she was my way of getting high. So when she left, I didn't fucking have any reason or way to get high anymore. And I had no way to see the man that I was in love with. And so I started running away. I started fucking running away. The first time I ran away, I was gone for like just a few days. I came back home, and then I ran away again. And then the last time I ran away, I was gone for 4 months, and I was barely 16. I celebrated my birthday on the streets, and I was with that guy, and we were together. And he was my first sexual relationship. I did lose my virginity to the other guy, but I had my first sexual relationship with this man. And we were, hopping from house to house. I was a runaway. My parents were looking for me. My parents were looking for him. And he was very, I could tell he had an anger problem. I could tell he had rage problems, but he never directed any of that towards me, ever. And he always was very vocal and very, like, out there by saying, like, if I ever hurt you, my parents would kill me, my brothers would disown me, they would beat me up. Like, we are not about that. They were like a biker family, and I don't know if anybody knows anything about biker families, but they're very, 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 like, family oriented, and they don't fucking put up with abuse to women and disrespect and all that shit. They are not about that life. They do not fucking put up with that shit. So his family was very, like, anti-violence and towards women and stuff. So he always made it seem like, oh, I would never hurt you. I could never hurt you. There was no way I could ever hurt you. And so we got in a very intense sexual relationship where, like, I don't know if any of you guys can remember your first sexual relationship with a man or girl, whatever. It's intense because you've discovered this thing that feels so awesome, but it's also entangled in your feelings for this person. And I don't know, it was just very, very intense for me. And I was on drugs. And this guy I thought was 20 years old, but he wasn't. He was way older than that. We'll get to that later. So we were in this relationship and we're kind of living on the run, trying to hide and shit, he was trying not to go to jail and I was trying not to go home. And so one day we're having a conversation and I said something to, I guess, piss him off. I don't know how. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what exactly led up to it. But he turns to me and slaps me so hard that my ear was ringing. And it was so out of nowhere and so unexpected that, like, I was stuck there for like 5 minutes and just completely shocked, like, that it happened, because nobody had ever put their hands on me before. I had no idea, and I didn't even realize why he did it. I didn't understand what I said to piss him off. And like I said, he had always put off this energy and this vibe that he was not going to do that and he was against that shit. And so for him to slap me was just like, whoa, like, what the fuck? Like, my world just turned upside down right now, completely. And I looked at him and I remember thinking, remember all of those conversations and all of those nights that like my dad went to counsel families and counsel women that had been beat up by their husband, and he would always tell them like, as soon as a man hits you, you have to leave. You cannot go back. You cannot forgive him, because as soon as you forgive him, he's going to know that he can keep doing it over and over and over again. So I looked at him, and those conversations and those like that voice of my dad was in my head, and I could hear it, and I was thinking about it. But for some reason, I just fucking defied all logic and went against my fucking own self and forgave him for it for some reason. And I was like, it's okay. I know you love me. It's all right. He was like very apologetic. I'm so sorry, blah, 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 crying and the whole shit. I'm like, it's okay. It's fine. We're under a lot of stress, blah, 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 blah. You probably need to sleep. We've probably been up for days. I just made excuses for him in my head and made excuses for him to him. And that was probably fucking one of the worst things I could have ever done. For the next 3 months, I was completely and totally abused, and the shit was beat out of me daily. I was less than 90 pounds because I was 16 years old and I was on drugs and I hardly ever ate. And he would pick me up like a fucking rag doll and throw me across the parking lot in front of everybody. Like he did not even give a shit. It was like a completely different person. I swear, from that slap forward, it was just like a completely different man. I had no idea who he was anymore. And my life turned from being happy in love and fucking shit up on drugs and having the time of my life because I was making my own rules, to fucking living in fear that this man was going to kill me. There were several times where I told him, I just want to go home. I want to go home. I miss my dad. I miss my family. I want to go home. I'm tired of this shit. I don't want to be out here anymore. And he would pull a knife on me and to my throat. I mean, one time he pulled the knife on me and put it so close to my neck and my throat that it barely cut me, but it cut me. It was that close to where I had blood running down my neck. Because he wanted to make me so scared of leaving him that I wouldn't, even dare. So from after that, I'm like, fuck, I'm fucking completely trapped in this situation. I don't know what the fuck to do. He's going to kill me. It was like every day was, no, nobody helped. That's the craziest thing. We were in an apartment complex, and we were actually at that moment when he started beating me up, I was actually staying at, I call her my aunt. She actually just recently died. She's not really my aunt. She is, okay, my blood aunt, her husband, so my uncle, has a brother and his ex-wife. So she's like my aunt, but by marriage or whatever. I don't know. But that lady, I was staying with her, and she knew that happened. She knew that he slapped me. She knew that he was beating me up. Hell, everybody in the fucking apartment complex knew, because he would literally, in the middle of the day, sun shining, kids playing outside, people barbecuing, would literally pick me up and throw me across the parking lot. So she knew that this was happening, and nobody ever did shit. Nobody ever called the police. Nobody ever called my parents. Nobody ever did anything. They just fucking watched it happen and then continued on with their life. So yeah, that was about 3.5 months of utter terror, just terror. I was afraid of everything. Like I couldn't even, I'm telling you, if somebody turned on the TV and I wasn't expecting it, I would fucking damn near piss myself because I was afraid of everything. And I was so afraid of him. It was terrible. So, the lady, and we'll just call her my aunt. So we were staying in this apartment. My aunt was living there. She was also doing drugs with us, but she got kind of freaked out by us because we kind of took over her whole life, and we were having people come over like drug dealers, and you know, all this shit was happening, and she kind of got freaked out and bounced. Like, she left. She left one day, and she said, I'm going to the store. I'll be back. She never came back. She went to LA, I think, and was staying with some other people while we stayed in her house, and we started selling everything out of her house. Like, we literally would have the dope dealer come over and pick things out of the house and we would give them the things that they picked, and they would give us a sack of dope. Like, that's what we were doing. That's how we were surviving. That's how we were getting food. That's how we were getting drugs. We literally were selling everything out of this lady's house, this poor lady. So I guess what ended up happening was what she ended up telling her ex-husband, like, Amanda is there with her boyfriend. They're selling everything out of my house. They're doing drugs, all this shit. So my my uncle's brother, he also is like a bail bondsman or something like that, and so is his brother. They have this business, so they're able to like do citizens arrests on people. So they showed up to the apartment where we were selling everything out of this house, and I just happened to be outside when this happened. And they showed up and they put my boyfriend in cuffs, and they did a citizen's arrest on him for, you know, all the shit that he was stealing out of the house and selling it and all that stuff. And I watched it happen. Like, I watched him get arrested. And so I thought, oh my God, yes, I'm fucking free. Like, I'm free. This guy's going to jail. I'm free. So I called some people, had them come pick me up. And all of this time I was like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. Like, when he would beat me up, I would be praying, like, God, please just give me a chance to go home, and I'll never do this again. I'll never, ever live this life again. Please just give me this chance to go home. But as soon as I got a fucking opportunity to go home, I didn't. I did not. I had some people pick me up. We drove by as he was getting put in a cop car. But right before he was getting put in a cop car, my dad was there because my uncle had called my dad. And we were driving by and I was watching my dad get in this guy's face. He was like knocking on his head, like knocking some sense into him. He was yelling at him because he knew that, you know, my dad knew that this guy had been with me, and he was like, where is Amanda? Where is she? What have you done with her? You know, you're going to jail, and you're lucky I don't beat your ass, like all that shit. Like, we drove by and saw all that happen. So I saw my dad, and I thought, you know, this is my perfect opportunity to go home, but I didn't. I went to the other side of town into another drug house and stayed for another week or so. So what ended up happening was right after my 16th birthday, I was staying at this house, and that guy had gone to jail, so I wasn't worried about him anymore. I'm in the backyard of this house that I was at. I was with this really cute guy, and we were smoking meth, and out of nowhere, I hear, Amanda, Amanda, I'm coming for you. Like, very fucking creepy, super fucking weird. I hear
The
this shit.
fuck?
Yeah. Amanda. All creepy, right? And I look, and this man is coming down this hill, like down the street towards my direction, and he has this big dog. He's holding his big dog on a leash, and it was the guy that was my boyfriend and that was beating me up. I guess he had gotten out of jail, and he was coming down the street and taunting me and yelling and saying, I'm coming for you. I'm coming. I'm on my way. And I got so fucking scared. And I called one of my friends and was like, oh my God, he's here. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. He's going to kill me. And I'm there with a guy. I hadn't had sex with this guy or anything, but I'm there with a guy in this fucking trailer smoking dope. If he comes down and sees me in this trailer with this man, he's going to kill both of us, you know? So I called my friend real quick, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So she calls my mom, and keep in mind, I haven't seen my parents or talked to my parents in 4 months. I had been gone, completely disappeared from them. They had no idea if I was alive or dead. So my friend calls my mom and says, you know, this is so weird. My husband's name is Joshua, and this guy's name was Joshua too. She said, Joshua's there. She's afraid that he's going to kill her. We don't know what to do. And so I'm literally hiding, like, under a table, and I hear outside like a car pull up, super like smashing on the brakes, and then a whole bunch of commotion and all kinds of shit happening. And then I hear boom, 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 like on the door. And I'm like hiding under this table, shaking like a leaf, fucking scared as shit. And my brother comes in with a bat. My brother, my cousins, my mom, my aunt, they're all there. They all got bats, and they're fucking ready to fuck everybody up if they don't let me come with them. So my mom and my brothers and my brother and my cousins, my aunt, they rescued me that day. And that was 4 months I was on the run, and I was less than 90 pounds. I think I was 81 pounds when my mom picked me up. Um,
Shit.
yeah, I had just turned 16 and I was less than 81 pounds. She picked me up. He ended up going to jail again for a violation of parole. And I had to go to the parole office to give them my statement and let them know that he had beaten me, that he had raped me, that he'd forced himself on me, all of that stuff. I had to give them all kinds of information, a statement, so that they could put him away. And they said because he had violated parole and that I'd given them all this information, and I had bruises all over me. You could tell that I had been beaten up. And it had been like 2 weeks or something since he beat me up and touched me at all, but I still had bruises from it. So they believed me. And I had pictures and like all kinds of stuff. I could show them, like, this is my proof. He is a terrible person. He needs to go to jail. So he ended up going back to prison, but he was there for like less than 6 months. And then my cousin ended up seeing him working at Albertsons, a grocery store, like 6 months later. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck did that happen? Anyway, so my mom picked me up, got me, took me to the hospital, got me all squared away. And then she brought me out here to Madera, where my sister was living, because they figured, if my sister came over here and got clean and got away from everything, then maybe I could too. Um, so she brought me out here, and I started going to school here. You want to stop now? We can do a part two.
I mean, it's up to
Let's,
you.
okay, there's a lot more, and it gets really, really crazy. So let's stop now, and we could do part two tomorrow.
It would have to be later, though.
That's fine.
Okay, because I have a party to attend. But it's
Yeah.
totally your call if you want to take a break. It's your story, girl.
Yeah, let's take a break and we'll do part two tomorrow. So, what you guys have to look forward to in part two, I'm sorry if I've bored you at all.
You
Um,
didn't bore
but
us at
part
all.
two is me having my kids, me becoming a prostitute, me in a murder investigation, all of that stuff. So, if y'all want to hear that, then stay tuned. Part two tomorrow night. We'll be here.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely didn't bore us. I don't know
Cool.
why you would say that.
I don't know.
Mm.
I just because I'm not reading in the comments, I'm just talking, so I don't know
I
what
mean, I was
anybody's saying
acknowledging
or
the
anything.
comment, and I was commenting back. I mean, everybody's been so respectful and supportive and loving and caring for you. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Like,
Cool.
this is
Thanks,
this is what
guys,
I
for
want.
listening.
I want to bring awareness to things. I want to be respectful to one another, be supportive, and the
Yeah.
love. I
So
mean,
that part, the part one, all of that was leading up to obviously me moving out here, and then the second part, you guys will be able to hear how it got really, really bad before it got better, and I changed my life, and all of the amazing things that happened after I got clean. It's actually a really good story, honestly. It's really awesome.
yeah, a lot of people are saying part two.
Yeah, we'll definitely
Thank
do
you,
part two tomorrow
Easy.
night. You guys will be able to hear how I met my husband, how my ex-husband went to jail for homicide. He actually burned a man alive, and so
Shit.
they thought that I had something to do with it. So I was in a murder investigation, all that stuff. You guys
Dang.
will be able to hear all that tomorrow night. So make sure you come back.
Dang, Adizzle.
Yeah, terrible.
It's
Terrible.
amazing
But
that.
that was the day when, like, literally when the police came to our door for that murder investigation. That was the last day I did meth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Look
Yeah,
at
I was like,
God.
fuck that. I'm not fucking doing no more. I'm like, this has got to, no, I'm not doing this anymore because a murder investigation, no,
Right.
no, no, ma'am.
Right. Hey, DC, how are you? Yeah, I mean, shit. That could be a book, a movie.
I know, right?
It's no joke.
Make sure you guys enter a raffle. It's only
On her
$5.
Facebook, on her Facebook, on her Facebook. You get me? You follow me?
On my Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, not whatever. The giveaway on my Facebook page.
Yep.
There you go. Only $5. You get a very nice graphic tee. All of our shirts are very soft. We have great products. They're not like crappy products. Our screen prints are awesome. We have all kinds of different screen prints, from music to mama prints to funny to political stuff.
Deuces.
We have Deuces also. That was a custom print that we made up. It's really cute. I have a few Deuces shirts myself, but we do have tons of those left. And we're able to do any of it. We can do leggings, we can do shorts, we can do, all that stuff. So you guys check out Tea Talk on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely, y'all. I feel like this Saturday is going so slow.
Yeah, like the
I
video too, guys. Dang, 41 people in here.
There was more at some points, but I'm content. I mean, I'm just grateful that no trolls, knock on wood,
Yeah.
no disrespect, no, you know. I mean, last night I was getting on people coming in and calling me fat and ugly and all kinds of shit. I was like, what
Wow.
the fuck?
Wow.
And
I'm
then
going back. I'm reading all the
they do that
comments
with
now.
their own profile picture because I don't know why they would. If it wasn't them, why would they put that picture? Because it's hideous. One person was named Big Fat Whale or something, and she's coming in here telling me that I'm fat and ugly and stuff. I was like, what the fuck? Great body, great quality. Thank you, Navy Vet. Yes, Ro has a shirt. I have some shirts. Absolutely. It's the link on Facebook. It's not due yet, Ambi.
What?
Navy Vet's meds.
Oh.
Thank you, Jen. And then there's Dizzle. Dizzle's right here.
Can you show that picture that I sent you?
How do I do that?
See if I can show it.
Yeah. Well, if you can show it, or you can share, I can share a screen.
Can you do that?
I know how to share a screen.
Can you guys see that?
There's a Dizzle. Hold on, let me put it. I'm gonna put it on single.
Okay.
There you go. Let me
That's
take that
me
off.
at the height of my addiction when I was slamming dope a million times a day. Look how skinny I am. Look at my face, how sunk in my eyes are.
Wow.
Terrible. You see that? My collarbone is sticking out. See how skinny? Yuck. Yuck.
Wow.
Gross, guys. Grody. Okay, let me see.
I'm
Ugh.
definitely grateful. I'm grateful that you know, you are who you are today, and
And
you change your
now,
life for the better.
that's me now, guys.
There we are. Hold on, let me show.
Way better.
Oh wait, how do I do that? Hold on. There we go. There she is now. You're beautiful.
Before and after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone said you're beautiful.
Thank you.
You know, back when you, if anybody, does anybody have any questions for the, because I know there was a couple people that were asking some things, and I said maybe she'll answer
Yeah.
if she's okay to answer for the first half.
Yeah, we can
Because
do a question time now if you want.
I heard you say something about like after you took like your first hit of the heroin, now you shot up,
Not heroin,
correct?
meth. Not
Um,
heroin, meth. I've never
meth.
done heroin.
Oh, okay, meth. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I just hear like people like because I watch like people that go down into areas where you know everybody is on drugs, and I've heard that like people
Hmm.
with like especially heroin, they say like if you try it once, like you get addicted
Yeah.
like that,
Yep.
and like they don't. They say is there such thing as like I don't get addicted to anything. This damn
No.
dog's always barking
I don't
because
know. I know that anybody that I've ever met that has tried heroin has never stopped. Um, but I know that anybody that has ever tried meth, they didn't stop for a long time until they got the courage enough to do it. But yeah, when you hit that shit, it's like you can look it up. As soon as 15 seconds after it hits your bloodstream, you're addicted.
what heroin, right?
No, meth.
Meth.
Yeah,
Now, what is that consider of like something that makes you like
it's an
speed
upper.
or
It's
an
an upper.
upper?
Yeah. It makes you like your eyes super black and
There's
pupils
it. Yeah,
dilated.
there we go. Gotti girl asked this question earlier.
Did your dad ever talk about handling snakes or bring them to church? No.
No.
No, we
What's
never
that
did any
all
of that.
about?
I have no idea. I've never seen anybody do that either. No, but I literally have watched people get demons casted out of them. I've watched people get healed um, that were paralyzed and not being able to walk, and they've gotten up out of their wheelchair and walked across the stage. I've watched people get prayed for that had addictions, and they got prayed for by my dad, and the next day they were completely healed and completely clean and never touched it again. I've seen a lot of that
Wow.
stuff. Yeah, a lot of that stuff.
Navy vet, you're beautiful. I don't want to hear that. Navy vet tried to say, "Dang, Adizzle,
Well,
I'm not on drugs, and I look like that now."
Well, that's
So
because a lot of people, when you are really super bad on meth, you kind of resemble somebody that's sick with cancer, or that has had cancer. That's why, probably. I mean, I don't think that you look like that at all, Navy vet. But if you feel that you look that way, it's probably because you were sick, babe.
all the time, Blue, all the time. Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
no, Gotti girl, I've never seen that before. No, I've never seen that.
absolutely, Jen. She's beautiful on the inside and out. Absolutely. Like you know, even with what Marissa is going through with Princess, it's sad,
Hmm.
because you know, I in my opinion, he's not being honest with her.
I think that my sister did what she did, and she gave me that meth because she was so jealous that she had already ruined her life, or she thought she ruined her life with 3 kids and no job and 3 different baby daddies, and I was so young, and I had the rest of my life ahead of me, and I hadn't made any of those choices yet, and I think she was trying to get me to ruin my life just like she did hers.
I was just on another live and I heard DC say something about you too, and it pissed me off enough to say something. You're my
What happened, DC? What'd
oh
they say?
shit.
Who was it?
Thank you, DC. I think DC. Do you mean barnyard? Barnyard.
Barnyard doesn't know shit about me, so she needs to shut her
Or
fucking
me.
mouth.
Like I just don't get it. I don't even say nothing to her. Like why is
You
she
mean you
still like?
mean you mean Barnyard
Yeah.
Bush? Is it
you
Barnard
know,
Bush Girl? Is that what we're talking about?
it's George Bush. Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, I don't even say nothing about her.
Fucking
Like,
George
why?
Bush.
Why? Like, okay, so like one time, like, I'll be 100% honest with you guys. One time, months and months and months and months and months ago, like over a year ago, probably. Um, what's her name? Molly was live, and she was talking to somebody on the phone or whatever, and it was about her. And I was new to YouTube because, like I said to you guys before, when I when I first came to YouTube, like, I would go on people's panels and just say what I wanted in chat, like popping off. And, because I just didn't like the ugliness and the nastiness and the talking about people's looks and da 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 da. So, right. So, like, I was a fireball. So then I just realized that who am I? And I'm not going to change nobody's mind of what they're going to think, say, feel, whatnot. So I kind of just let it go. So I do admit that I was a little asshole in the beginning. But nowadays, like, things are taken way too far. So back when I first started watching um, Molly Go Lightly, um, so it was back like around Vaughn McCrae, okay, and she was on the phone with somebody talking about that. Let's just call her DC, okay, and it was about pictures or whatever of her being nude, okay. I can admit now that it's not, okay to talk about, but at the time I was new to YouTube, and um, she was explaining what the picture was, so I can only imagine like what she was looking at. Not that she showed anyone, you know what I mean, because she didn't. I've never saw it. I never ever, honest hand to God, I never saw it. But you know, I went into one of her lives as she was talking about Molly, and then I started saying stuff about the picture, and the way I worded it was a little wrong. I can admit that I'm not great with words. And she thought like I saw the picture, and I never saw the picture. I never did, and I said it a million times. I've even apologized for my words, for her misunderstanding my words. You know what I mean? But the fact that like she keeps going and going and going, like she like it's just it's over with. Like, you know, she was live one day and she was in there telling stories saying that I did this, I said this, and it wasn't true. And I went in there and I said, well, drop a link. If you want to know the truth, just ask me. I'll tell you. She didn't want to drop the link, and she started saying stuff about that day that was months and months and months and months and months ago. I said, well, I'm sorry that, you took it the wrong way and I worded it wrong. That's what I apologize for. And now it's just still going. I just don't understand it. I don't even know how to pronounce. Do you know how to pronounce that? Adizzle? Freya? Is that what your name is? Freya? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit the
Freja?
like button and subscribe. What is it? Freja?
Freja?
I like that. Freja, nice to meet you. Welcome. Please sub up if you want. Please, please, please. Yeah, so like, and like I don't know this chick from a can of paint. I know that she was once friends with Molly Go Lightly. The friendship didn't work out. I know, you know, and that's about it. I don't say anything about her or her silver squirrel. I don't say anything, but she's still like coming after me for what? For what? Like, I'll drop a link for her if she wants to come over. I mean, let's let's put it to rest. Like, I don't have nothing to do with how you feel about somebody that I support. Like, you know what I mean? That's just the way it is. It's like sad. It is. Something about y'all needing to pay dues before y'all beg. I mean, do you guys like? Am I begging for anything? I'm not begging for anything. I never do. Like, come on. Like, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I'm not begging for shit. Okay. I saw clips the other day of somebody saying, please, I only need $65 more for a flight. Please, please, somebody please send me money for a butcher box. Please, 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 please. That's what I heard. That's begging. That's begging. Me having a Cash App and Venmo scroll across the bottom of my screen and my mods posting it every once in a while in chat is not begging. I'm not asking anybody for nothing. I don't. I mean, it's not my business with Adizzle, but I've been live for 1 hour and 42 minutes and 5 seconds. No, I didn't make anything, and I'm okay with that. I'm still blessed. I woke up this morning. I'm blessed.
Facts.
You felt
And
you
I don't
need.
care if I am a beggar. I don't even care. I don't need anybody to give me money, but I'm asking for people to fucking buy shirts or do the giveaway or whatever because I'm a
She's
hustler.
promoting her business. You know what I mean? And yes, if you wanted to send her, a blessing for telling her story, by all means. Like, I wouldn't be. First of all, if I was a beggar, I definitely wouldn't be allowing somebody to post their info in my chat if I was like that.
Yeah.
I realized. I mean, I realized at one point, my stuff was scrolling and I took it off. You know, I, I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say. You know, or do to make her realize that, like, I ain't talking nothing about her. Just leave me out. I'm not that important to YouTube for you to be talking about me. I'm really not. And for those who were once friends that aren't friends anymore, it's okay that we're not cool. It's okay. I said, you all said what you said. I said what I said, and I'm dropping it. I'm leaving it alone. Like, I wish you but all the best of luck. Wish no harm. God bless you and your families, and move on. I'm 41 years old. I'm just moving on. Like, it's crazy. There we go. There we go. Puppies. Puppies. There they are, y'all.
Hi, baby. Hi. Hi.
Oh, look how big they're getting.
Hi, Atlas. Hi. Hi, baby. What are you guys doing? You're eating your food? Daddy? I love you. I love you. So cute. You're so cute. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this little baby. She's so cute. Hey.
Oh, what happened? What happened? There we go.
Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. Hey, Luna, what you doing? Hi, Luna. Hi, Brady. Hi, Rhea. Hi, Hustle.
Oh my God. I just received a donation, y'all. Thank you so much. You know who you are. My first my first blessing today. Thank you. I appreciate you. And
Thank you, whoever that was.
thank you, whoever that was. Yes, thank you, and I love you. Like, look. I'm not over here streaming nobody. I don't know how to, so I'm not. And even if I did know how to, I wouldn't. Um, I'm not over here talking about anyone. We were just telling a very moving, inspiring, sad but good story. You know what I mean? Of a strong woman who's now a mother, a wife, a friend. Like, come on, like. No need to sit there and talk about this. I had under 50 people in my chat. Like, it's no big deal. There's so many other people that you guys can be on. So what if we had fallen out with other people that you're now friends with? Okay, that's fine. I'm friends with somebody you don't like. It's not a competition. It's it's not like a battle. We're not going to go back and forth. Like, you could say what you want. Like, like whatever you're going to say or do it. Do it. Like, but guess what? I'm not gonna fight back. I'm not doing it. I'm just not gonna go that far. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not addressing it any fucking more. I'm done. Okay, again, this is, yeah. I do have a full-time job. I do work 40 plus a week. Most weeks, guys. Most weeks I do. I don't know how many times I have to say it. If I make extra money, that's awesome. Great. I'm so grateful and thankful for it because I will use it for things that I need. Not want, but need. Okay? I'm not homeless. I'm just looking for a new place to go. It's time to move on. I don't want to live with my brother anymore. I came here for a reason to take care of my mom. I stuck around just to help out with certain things, and now it's time to move on. I don't come here. Look, I'm like I said, I when I first started with YouTube, I made some mistakes. I came in too hot, not knowing what I was doing. If I could start all over again, I would. I also came in here to address certain situations that, I do regret addressing because if I would have known that the outcome would have been this, I would have never did it. I thought I was doing the right thing. I come on here most of the time with no topic whatsoever. I just come in here and talk. That's it. Why do you feel uncomfortable, waffle fries? Why? Why do you feel uncomfortable? And I thank you for your support, but why are you upset about and feel uncomfortable about? If it's because you support people that don't necessarily support me or like me or whatnot, then that's okay. You're allowed. You're grown person. You're grown. You can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you that if or anybody in that matter. If you're over there, don't come over here. Absolutely not.
Too
Too
much
much
BS
bullshit
in what chats?
in
Not BS in
chats.
our chats.
Ain't no BS in this chat. someone just came over here and said that they witnessed something that they didn't like, and she was just speaking her mind and being honest about it, and that's that. It's not going anywhere. Hey, Palace, how are you? This goes for. I don't understand like what it is. If you don't like what somebody's content is, or you don't like the things that people are saying in the chat, you but you like the creator, then just it doesn't take that. Just exit. Just exit out and go, and you don't have to watch that stream, or you can say, tell the creator, tell me if it's my chat and you saw something that made you feel some sort of way, come to me and tell me and I'll fix it. I don't want nobody to be over here um feeling some sort of way. Thank you, waffle fries. Yeah, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of it going around. There's a lot of it, and I try my hardest not to acknowledge it in here when it comes in here. I do. I just ban them right away. Um, I'm not perfect now. Like I said, I have engaged when I first started, and I have recently came and on my own platform and talked about things, but but I had this all this was months ago. Why people are still talking about it, I don't know, but I'm not. I just choose just to move on to bigger and better things. Well, yes, please say that you should never feel like you have to leave, Waffle. We love having you here. Absolutely, Waffle. You better stay here. You were a funny person. I remember the day when you first came in chat. We were talking about dildos and all kinds of stuff. They just follow me around and watch what I say and check. They just don't like that I give a fuck. What do you mean? Like they're seeing you over here and they're acknowledging that you're here. So if you're over there, they're saying, "Oh, we just saw you over there," type shit. Is that what do you mean? Like they see you over here, so when you go over there, they acknowledge the fact that you were over here. Is that what it is? I wish someone would. Exactly. Okay, listen, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how. But I wish someone would tell me where I could and couldn't go, and where I can and can't speak. I wish someone would. But at the end of the day, you want to think about it. Do you really want to support someone that tells you what you can and you can't do? Because I know I wouldn't. I don't give a fuck where I go, but you can keep the dildos to yourself. Yeah, I mean, and if like, listen, say like, and I've said this uh, to somebody just the other day. You know, I everyone's welcome as long as they're respectful to me and everyone in my chat. That's all I ask. That's it. That's all. Now, if someone's in here that you just kind of just disliked and you just don't want it to acknowledge them, block them. They can't see what you write. You can't see what they write. That's it. That's it. But don't let somebody run you and tell you where. Oh, well, go back over there. I saw you over there. That's some crazy stuff right there. Especially when the person that you are, where like anybody that's here, like what am I really doing to anybody? I ain't doing. I'm not talking about nobody. I go at nobody. I could, but I just choose not to. It's just not. I just don't want to. I've seen that too. I've seen that too. Absolutely, and that's not cool. Like I don't care who anybody supports. If that's who you want to support, that's on you. That's on you. Don't bother me any at all. We're all different people. We all are here for different purposes, and I know what my purpose is, and that's all I need to know. That's my business. That's what my business is. My purpose.
Yeah. Fact.
If someone tells me that, I will know. One puts palette. Exactly. I wish somebody would tell me I couldn't go there if I can't go back. Shit. It's one thing if I was over here, you know, doing the same stuff that they're doing, talking about them and about their life, their looks, their past, their future, their gender, their this, their that, their finances and stuff like that. It's one thing if I was over here doing that and it was like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth drama, 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 drama. It's one thing. I get it. But I'm not over here bothering nobody.
Nope.
I got 21 people in my chat. 21 people that I love dearly. That have been nothing but supportive and loving, caring, respectful. Like I don't. I just don't want the drama anymore. I just don't even want to know about it. I don't know. People coming in here saying you're fat, you're ugly, you're this. To you, I am. To me, I'm beautiful and I'm fine. I love myself the way I am. Thank God you don't have to look at me every day in the mirror. I look at myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, thank God,
No.
My
Is
phone
you
died.
blonde hoe? Did you watch the third reunion?
I did. I wish there was more, but
I haven't watched it yet.
um, LB did a
I know I saw.
react. You saw it?
Yeah.
Jilly Bean, with all due respect, I think you're hot as fuck. Thank
Yeah.
you. So do I. So do I, Waffle Fries. I ain't perfect, but who is? So do I. And I had to learn to love myself. And I'm proud to love myself. This is all crazy to me.
Is somebody talking about us right now?
I think what she was trying to say was that she was over there, over, I guess, wherever that person was, and they were like, oh, them two, they need to pay their dues before they drop their cash apps or whatnot,
Oh
whatever.
God. What dues? What the fuck? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not claiming that I've been here for fucking 10 years. I don't want to be any other creator that's on any
We don't have to do
social
shit
media
the way
platform.
that
I want to
the
be
way that
myself.
she says that we have to do it. We don't have to do shit the way anybody else did it. The
Yeah.
fuck? We fucking. It's none of your fucking business what we do. Mind your own. Worry about your fucking own bush before you're cutting somebody else's.
I can't. I just don't get it. Like, what did I do to this woman?
That was hilarious. No, seriously, she needs to worry about her own bush before she starts trimming somebody else's. I
Damn, like it.
get real disrespectful.
Pay your dues. This isn't a fucking frat house.
Guys, this live was great. I'm excited about part deuce. Adizzle sending hugs and kisses. Thank you, Easy. Yeah, I'm excited too. Yeah, I think that it was good to stop where we stopped today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll tell the rest of it tomorrow. And the rest of it is amazing and really cool. It's a great story.
Right? Maybe let's see if it. This is not a frat house.
Why
I
did you
know,
put that, babe?
right?
Why did you put that?
Like I said this the other night. I said like I said it the other night, and I said it a week ago. I am done with
Talking about
the back and forth. I'm not going to respond to what anyone has to say about me, what they think they know about me, what they think.
I should probably take that off.
Anything. I'm just not going to respond to it, because me responding to it is only going to keep it going and going and going, and that's not what I'm into. I'm just not into it anymore. I'm done with it. I don't want to do any of that anymore.
Thank you, Freja. Yeah, we like to keep it love over
Thank
here.
you, Freja. Thank you. I appreciate it. I try. I do try. And sometimes I get upset and pissed off. And I mean, it's we're only human, you know? Shit. Damn. They think they know me more than I know myself. One minute I'm homeless, the next minute, um, Native Vet's giving me thousands and thousands of dollars. If that was true, then how am I homeless? I wouldn't be homeless if that was true.
One
minute she's homeless, the next you got
All news to me.
thousands of dollars.
I'm glad you spoke up, Fraser. I am.
Oh my
Get in here
god.
and just talk about anything.
I thought Golden was banned from this platform or something.
I don't know.
Disappeared because everybody was
I
turning
don't
on.
think she went live on this platform. I think she went live on
Oh, on Kick.
yeah, Facebook. I think. I'm not sure. Good for her. I'm not. Good for her. Let her
Yeah.
do her shit. I'm not worried about her going live. Go ahead and do what you got to do. But I said what I said. Like I said, if I would have known that this would have been the turnout, I wouldn't have said it. I really wouldn't have. But I said what I said, and that's it. That's it. I'm just not going to deal with it anymore. Best of luck to you. We're all adults. We should all act like it.
Wow, this is awesome. I'm not even using my channel yet. It keeps growing, which is the opposite of what I thought would happen. And I don't think MGL saw this coming either, LOL. Just remember, for every new sub I get, we're all pissing MGL off so bad. I'm getting even closer to committing herself to the loony bin where she truly belongs. So good job, everyone. But yeah, Molly, what were you saying about karma again?
Who was that?
Gina.
Huh?
Oh, Molly. how boring and lame your life must be to be this obsessed with little old me. Since you're so worried about the drugs that aren't in my system, I would piss in a cup if I knew your weird ass won't try to keep it. By the way, since Princess is that moral authority nowadays, you might want to tell him to stop doing nothing coke with your Airbnb guest in Harrisburg. LOL, just saying. Whoa.
I don't. When is are you? When is Marissa talking about her?
Never. What
When
the
did
fuck
she
are you
say that
talking
she was
about?
on drugs?
I don't even know. This is a weirdo.
That's news to me.
Weird.
The hell.
Damn, Karma's a bitch since I fucked Gina Diamond over. This is a picture of Molly. So now
Where's
Molly
all
is saying
this at?
on her page. So now Molly is saying that I have a dick pic of Dolly. No, I don't. I never said that, nor have I ever even seen that man's body parts. Is it just me, or is she extra pervy lately? I mean, God, my God. First you talk about Laura's underage son doing certain activities to break his hand. Now you're talking about Dolly's junk. Girl, you sick. You need help.
I don't understand that. I mean, come on, like, don't say that type of stuff. Cause I mean, didn't she send you nudes?
She sent me her boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to say, I'm not. I'm just gonna shut up. I'm just gonna shut
Yeah.
up. Just gonna stop.
Yeah, she sent me her boobs, and then she was mad when I was like, you can't be sending
God
me shit
bless
like that,
her.
weirdo.
God bless. I wish you the best, but God bless you. I wish you lots of luck and prayers. I really do, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart and soul. That's all we got to do is pray for the people. I don't wish no harm on anyone. I can't dislike somebody that much to wish harm on them. Unless you're like a rapist or like a pedophile or some, you know what I mean? Like some, but like over some he said, she said YouTube stuff, no.
Yeah.
No. No.
Such a weirdo. Such a weirdo. Never met somebody so weird in my life.
Yeah, like, I'm
Yeah,
just like,
Nikki, she doesn't stop. That's all she ever does. And she says that Molly talks about her so much, but she just cannot fucking stop.
I don't even hear her say anything. Honest to God, is she going live when I don't know she's going live and
No,
talking about
no.
it?
She mentioned her once. She said that she heard through the grapevine that she's gonna
Hi,
try to
Shannon.
blackmail Dolly with some dick pic or whatever, and then that's all she said. That's all she said about it.
When somebody came up on my panel and said that, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hi, Shannon. Yeah, that's all she said. She hasn't said nothing else about her. And we were all like, well, if she had a dick pic of Dolly, why didn't she say that when that girl Sierra came on your guys' panel and was like talking about it? Why didn't she mention it then?
I don't know. I know she didn't mention everything because she wasn't putting it all out at the time because she said she wanted to put it behind a paywall. She wanted to make money off of it.
I know. Weirdo.
I do know that.
Weirdo.
That I do know. But woohoo! What's woohoo about? Jen?
Woohoo!
It's just crazy. Like, I just, you know what, I would literally love to have an adult conversation with these people. For real, I would. I would love to
I
sit
know.
down and have
Without all the weird shit.
an adult conversation. Say what you need to say and just like let it go and let God and move on. You know, this world is such an ugly place already, and I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to live it the best way I can.
Yep. You guys
Going
know that
on a
you want
road
to
trip.
buy a freaking graphic T-shirt. You know you do.
Over there on Facebook. She's
You need
on
one.
Facebook.
Y'all
She's
need one.
doing
Everybody
a
needs a good.
raffle.
Everybody needs a good graphic tee collection. I have a freaking whole dresser full of them. I do. I have more graphic tees probably than anybody does in the world, huh, babe?
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
This is cray. I just want to love everyone. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, I don't say anything. Like, and I'm talking on the phone with my friends and people that love and care for me. We talk, but I'm.
No, perplexed. We did not see your fight with her. Was that today?
What? Hold up. Wait a minute.
Oh, dang.
No, but that person, perplex. Perplex. You want to come up? Please
Yeah.
tell me what happened. Please,
Yeah.
please come up because someone just came in here saying she was talking about us.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Oh, Jilly,
Mm.
try to go to her video and share the screen when they are fighting. She said they went at it for 20 minutes.
She came on my panel. I wanted to come on my panel.
Oh, okay. Come on
No,
down.
not. I want DC to come on my panel. What happened?
Oh my God. We went at it. She showed exactly who she was. If you want to play it. I got to cook date and dinner. But she showed exactly who she was, the hypocrisy, the bullshit. She's sitting there saying how she didn't whatchamacallit, that she doesn't talk about Molly, and then 2 seconds later she's like, well, I'll do what I want. And then you came up because I was saying, Barney, I forgot who you were talking to. You were talking to somebody. I couldn't remember. And she was like, oh, that was Jilly Bean, because Jilly Bean did this. And Jilly Bean, I said, do you know what went on behind the scenes? I go, I do. Do you know that Jilly Bean's supporters had told her to go live, or Jilly Bean supporters said make an Amazon wish list, or Jilly Bean? You have no idea. So you're just making assumptions that Jilly Bean's an e-beggar when you fucking sit there and support Mallory. Make it make sense.
And the fact that she said to me that Marissa invited me over to her house for Easter, and Marissa had just said she did. That wasn't a joke. She really did. But she was like, everybody, if they want to support Jill, get in here, because I ain't driving to go pick her up because I'm 2 hours away. I don't like driving anyway. That's all it was. It was a joke. And then she said, you made all this money to go to Marissa's for Easter. You took the money and never went. I said, prove it. And I said it. I announced it. I said, if anyone has the proof that they did that, send it right to her. And I'm allowing her to put it out there. Now, this was when I went on the other panel, which I shouldn't have went on. Okay. How long ago was that? Like a month and a half ago? No, there's nothing.
Yeah, dude, we were talking about, hey, Navy, Scorpio was in there. She heard the whole thing.
Hi, Scorpio.
She was just, I mean, like I said, if you want to play it, it's, I don't know, maybe it was 20, 30 minutes, but talking about Molly, and I was saying how she was obsessed with Molly, and she's like, no, I'm not. But the hypocritical, and she was just such a fucking hypocrite. And I'm sitting there going, like, do you not hear yourself? Because on one hand, she can do, like, what's good for me isn't good for anyone else. She came across as fucking nuts. I think Easy was in there too.
I think everywhere that, anybody that's talking about Molly, she's there jumping on their panel saying something.
She's not. She claims that we're all crazy. She did not do that. And that since Molly's been off the platform, She would have no reason to talk about Molly. Yeah, she says all of this.
Molly wasn't on the platform when she was getting ready to go to her mother's funeral, and she decided that she wanted to make a thumbnail of a picture of her at her mother's funeral pulling
Oh,
out.
I forgot about that. Damn.
So what's that about? That was a kick. That she was on kick. She wasn't on the platform then.
Dude, I totally
so again,
forgot about that. I forgot about the picture.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I want to straighten something out because we can't get we literally couldn't get a straight story, and I was getting different stuff from my subs. Okay. The picture that she's so upset over.
Okay, and I apologize on how she took it. Okay, I just explained that. So
did she or did she not say that Tacos took the picture while she was sleeping? That's the only thing I want to know.
I don't think Tacos did it. I think her wife took a picture.
Okay. But she claims that somebody took the picture while she was sleeping.
That I don't know. I can't recall. That I can't speak on. But I know that I did not see the picture. I know that
I told her.
I know that the picture was explained, so I can only imagine what it looks like. And the way I worded it was that I saw the picture with my own eyes, and I said, "I'm sorry that you took it that way. That wasn't what I meant." And she said on her live, "Thank you. I accept your apology, and I'm sorry too." But the shit keeps coming up.
Yes, and I told her that. I said, why do you keep bringing it up? Nobody would bring it up except you're the one that talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
And she just went on and on. And then we started yelling and it went back and forth.
I went in her chat one time and asked her if I could have a link. She said no. Because I said, well, if you're going to talk about me, make sure you're telling the truth and the facts. Like, ask me, I'll tell you the truth. Just ask me.
After you watch this, though, you will understand why her thinking is off and why her rationale is off. Because trust me when I tell you, her rationale is completely off. Her logic is not there. And, I used to like Barnyard. I used to talk to Barnyard a lot. So it's not that, it's not that, I don't know her or anything, but she's stuck in 2019. She's stuck in the past and she doesn't want to own her own. Like she doesn't want to own her own, actions. And it's what she wants for everyone else, but she doesn't live by it. And that seems to be a pattern with her buddies.
Yeah, like she's always coming at me, trying to give me advice and stuff about Marissa. Like, I'm just like, dude, I'm a grown-ass woman.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I try to bring up. And I don't remember if I said it when she was on panel or off panel, but all of this, I'm going to warn you, I'm going to warn this one, I'm going to warn that one, is like the biggest insult to people everywhere.
People warned me about her.
But the point is, everyone's a grown adult. There's no warning about somebody. Everyone's going to find out on their own who someone is, what their morals are, if they like someone, if they don't like someone. Like I've known Marissa since 2018. There were people coming in chat, and even Barnyard said it. Oh, well, she did this, or her face was funny, or blah, blah, blah. Don't people think I know Marissa? I know Marissa better than Marissa. I know Marissa since 2018. I know her highs. I know her lows. Like just so many things. And I don't get how Barnyard, of all people, she's so stuck in this, I know everything, and I'm going to tell this one, and I'm going to tell that one. And it all started because she came in and said something to Scorpio. And I was like, why are you coming in here? And she's like, well, she did this, she did that. And then at the end, it changed. Then at the end, she said something totally different.
What in the world would Love a Scorpio do?
Because it was about Marissa.
Oh, Jesus.
everything is about Marissa.
Wow.
It's crazy. And
Wow.
I don't like, I was trying to tell her, like, Barnyard, I know that you and Marissa were close, but it's time to move on. It's been 2 years. Just move on. You're not gonna.
Yeah, I just said that. Like, people are some people are friends once before and then not friends anymore. Like, that doesn't mean like you got to go around and talk about the person. Just move on. You just
Yep.
that's it. I wish. I
I
listen. I can't sit here and say that on YouTube I hate someone that much that I wish harm on them. I wish them the best. God bless them. Like, but just move on. Like, it's not. I'm not over here talking about anyone. I don't know how to stream anyone. I don't know how to share. I don't know how to play a video. I don't know. I'm just nobody. I'm over here with 33 people on my chat, and that's it. And before you came on, it was less, and I'll admit that. I'm just a small person over here, just trying to just talk about whatever.
agree. But because you're connected to Marissa, she has to throw it. Same thing with Scorpio. And I said Scorpio's been around as long as I have. Like, Scorpio is not new to Marissa. She's been around for years. And the fact that she's coming in there trying to, share her experience with Marissa, Barnyard, get over it. Like, I'm sorry Marissa hurt you. Move on.
Yeah, like, everybody's experience with Marissa is different. You met her, you hung out with her. I never did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. We're all different people. Like, it just didn't work out. Let it go.
But it seems that she's upset because Marissa didn't apologize. That's what I gathered. And Scorpio Easy, am I right? That
Well,
she
that's Marissa. That's not.
didn't apologize.
But that's Marissa. That's not anybody. That's none of us, of her friends and supporters. That's Marissa. So don't take that out on us. Don't go into us and talk about us and what you think and our real lives and shit. Like, come on.
I agree.
We didn't do that.
I agree. All right, but I'm gonna get off. I was on 4 hours.
Okay.
But like I said, if you
everyone sub up to Laura, please.
If you want to play it, be my guest. I could care less, but it's interesting. It shows who she is, honestly. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Have a good one. Take care. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Well, y'all, that's crazy. Love a Scorpio. Wow. I can't believe she came at you. And you, of all people, like, wow. You don't say nothing. And, like, you're just not a disrespectful person whatsoever. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, oh. This is all just disgusting. It's disgusting. She don't talk about her. The fuck? That's a lie. She sure does talk about her. And people that have a falling out with her, with Molly, she's the first one to reach out to them. What happened? What they do? What she do? I told you. I'm trying to tell people. Nobody wants to listen. Like, if I was to fall out with her right now, she would be like, I told you so. But if you want, you can come over on this side. And I know it. I know it. She didn't like what I said about the whole picture situation. Jesus. The picture. Nobody saw the picture. I don't even, like, and nobody saw it. And I'm sorry that you took my words. I'm sorry if my wording was off and you thought that I saw the picture. God is my witness, hand to God. I have never saw that picture, nor do I ever want to see that picture. I'm going to. And if I knew how to do it, I would do it now. But I just don't know how to do it. Maybe, Amby, you can help me with that also, if you know how to do it. Damn. Waffle fries. Supposedly there was a picture that was taken of her that she was, I don't know, her private was showing or whatnot. I don't even know if the picture even exists. The fact that I didn't, it's because I didn't see it with my own eyes. I don't even want to see it. But, like, obviously it exists if it's still being talked about. And the crazy thing is, Lover Scorpio, I was just here because someone came in the chat and told me that she was over there calling me an e-beggar and I have to pay my dues or whatnot. And, and at one point I did stop putting my Cash App information up there because I just didn't want to hear it anymore. But people just kept asking me for it and then telling me to do it. And, the people that I respect on, the platform told me not to, listen to anyone else, do what I want. And, but I was just saying, I would love to have an adult conversation with these people. Like, I really would, adult to adult. So we can come to some type of understanding. You don't have to like me or anybody else that I like, but can you just be a grown ass, respectful woman and just move on? Like, it's not that serious. Like, I'm not talking about it. That's what I'm saying, Julie. She's still upset with her own actions. Yeah, I mean, yeah. But the thing is, before I even had this small channel that I do have, before I even had it, I was still being harassed about being friends with Marissa. I was still getting it, the heat. Like, how would she feel if, or anybody, not just her, anybody, how would a creator feel if somebody else from a supporter of someone else's channel or another creator was attacking her supporters? How would she feel like that? Because I'm sure she cares and respects her chat, right? The people that are supporting her and have been for years. What if a creator or one of their subs were attacking their creators? How would she feel? Yeah, and that's how I feel. Because every single time, Love a Scorpio, every single time, it's like, I feel bad for Joey. I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to give you my opinion. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it, nor do I want it. I'm a grown ass woman. If things don't work out with any of my friendships that I have in my life, because it's my life, then they don't work out. And it's going to be because of a reason that ain't none of the things that they're saying would I ruin a friendship for. It's not that big. It's not that serious. It's not to me. Waffle fries, you're funny as fuck. Wow. I'm sorry that happened to you, Love Scorpio. It's not okay. "99 problems, the barn ain't one." Yeah. I just don't get it. Dang, man. I wish if you're here right now, please can you if you're here right now, please. I'm begging you, please. Take this link if you're here right now. Take this link. Let's talk about it. We're both grown adults. Let's talk about it. Rolling one for me. Hey, Vet. Tell them to roll over, put their head between their legs, and kiss where their sun don't shine. I love you guys. Thanks for being so supportive. Like, I just don't understand it. I guess I never will. But the last time I spoke to her, she said, as long as you go live and you're e-begging, because apparently that's what I'm doing, she's going to talk about me. That's what she said. So, I don't know. Why isn't she talking about anyone else, though? I can literally say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Let me think. 8 so far. 8 so far, and 2. 8. No, 8 so far. No, 9 so far, and 2 are banned from YouTube. Okay, I can think, and it's not Molly. So I can think of 9 people so far off the top of my head that e-begs and that are really, really, really nasty, vile people, like wishing death right. Oh, like you just want to choke. Oh, I could think of that many people that are on here literally asking for money. Literally asking, and some of them have proof, receipts out there, been talked about a million times for doing it, that you could be talking about. But because I'm a supporter of Molly's, you just have to talk about me. Speaking of e-begging, there's my Cash App and Venmo and PayPal. Psych. Oh, 10. How did I forget that one? 10 people. 10. Yeah. What dues do I gotta pay? Nothing that I'm doing is affecting her whatsoever. Nothing. Nothing that I'm doing is affecting her. Nothing. Is she losing any sleep over here from it because of it? No. Nope. Or any of the small people, the small chat that I have going over there saying anything to her? No. Am I saying anything about her? No. Navy Bat, you're so funny. Fucking nuts. Absolutely. Laura's real, you know? And she knows what's wrong is wrong and right is right. That's what she sticks up for. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming and speaking. Nikki, thank you. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. That damn ice cream truck again. Tell me about it. I'll do what I want to, Nita. I'll post her info every time it scrolls off my screen if I want to. Julie never asks me to. Exactly. I don't. Was her nuts was begging for Vegas money when I heard that. Oh, someone was begging for Vegas money? It really means a lot to me, Nick. Thank you. Thank you for coming and speaking. I respect you. Wow. I did some walking today on another note. I did some walking today. I had some errands to do. I had to make pasta salad for my niece's birthday party tomorrow, and my calf muscle still hurts. I'll tell you, for all you people that was pregnant and had kids, and the baby was like kicking, and you could just see their like foot sticking out your stomach, and the hand and the head and the butt and all that. I'm telling you, that's what my calf muscle looked like, but it was an alien in there, and it was kicking and it was hurting so bad. This child